So after posting my first news video for today, I found out there was not one, but two trades in the Ontario Hockey League, and both of them involving the Kingston Frontenacs. And I think this is a big sign for Kingston in the Eastern Conference. Let's go over the details. They did two trades in a matter of minutes between with the Kitchener Rangers and the Guelph Storm. First, they picked up Roman Schmidt from Kitchener for Saginaw's second round pick in 2026, and then a third in 2027. And then they sent Thomas Budnick to the Guelph Storm for Sarnia's second round pick in 2026 and two-thirds in 26 and 27. I like what Kingston got out of the Budnick deal, and I think Kitchener did pretty good getting a second-round pick for Roman Schmidt, considering some overagers that we've seen move before weren't getting that kind of return. So all three teams, I think, doing really well in the trades today. And first things first, the Kitchener Rangers were in a position where they needed to make a move as Roman Schmidt sent back from the Tampa Bay Lightning. Many thought he'd stick with the Syracuse Crunch this season, but that just wasn't the case. So he came back to Kitchener, resulting in four overagers on the team. And since coming back from the American Hockey League, Schmidt appearing in 14 games, just 4 assists, but he's a big body on the back end. 6'5", 216 pounds. So he's going to be big on the blue line for the Kingston Frontenacs, and I think we're going to really see that right away because he's an imposing defenseman. Kind of reminds me of Braden Hache a little bit, who's right now playing for the Saginaw Spirit. And if you're wondering, yes, Kingston had a vacant spot in their overager situation after Tyler Savard left the team. He's right now playing with the Caledonia Corvairs in the GOJHL. So Schmidt will fit in nicely, I think, with the Kingston Frontenacs. As for Butnick, he has 1 goal, 10 assists, good for 11 points in 29 games this season. He's a 2004, which means he could come back for an overage season next year with the Guelph Storm. And, if he would have stayed in Kingston, he would have had his role reduced with Schmidt joining the team. So I think this is good for him. He's going to continue to get ice time with the Guelph Storm this season. And Guelph's a team that's also looking to be competitive in the Midwest Division. Right now, scoring seems to be a problem with the Storm. They're also waiting for Cam Allen to come back from injury. Still no timeline as to when he's coming back. It sounded like he was supposed to come back at the beginning of December, but that's been pushed back. So now you've got Budnick. I think he will fit in well. But I expect to see Guelph to be a team that's going to add maybe some offense to try and get a little more scoring before the OHL trade deadline. So Kingston busy today, but I like what they did. Kingston is competing for the Eastern Conference right now because it's wide open. We've already touched on the fact that the Sudbury Wolves not meeting those expectations early on, and it's pretty close at the top of the East. Right now, Ottawa, Mississauga, and Brantford all within 3 points of each other at the top. North Bay not far behind. So the East wide open, and I think this is a sign that Kingston might be going all in. Watch out for the Kingston Frontenacs. I think they're going to make a couple more moves before we reach the OHL trade deadline. We were also waiting for the CHL Top 10 rankings, and those have been released a little later than usual on a Tuesday, but that's okay. The Baie-Comeau Drakkar, number 1 in the country for the second week in a row. They're riding an 11-game winning streak right now, so the Drakkar getting it done. But coming in at number 2 in the Canadian Hockey League, the Kitchener Rangers, the first-place team in the O. They are rolling along, and they have 23 wins on the season, which is second most in the country. The only team with more regulation wins this season is Baie-Comeau. So Kitchener looking pretty good. Also making the cut in the CHL Top 10, the Sioux Greyhounds. They came in at number 4. They moved up 1 position from number 5 last week. Well, the Saginaw Spirit, they fell to number 6 on the CHL Top 10. And that drop comes after the Greyhounds snapped their 10-game winning streak. So 3 teams on the CHL Top 10 from the Ontario Hockey League. So it's Kitchener at number 2. The Greyhounds at number 4, and Saginaw at number 6. And finally, some more World Juniors news. Finland, they've released their preliminary rosters for the 2024 World Junior Championships. Just 3 players from the Ontario Hockey League will be joining Finland at the camp, and that includes Kasper Hultinen from the London Knights, Rasmus Kumpalainen from Oshawa, and Arttu Karki from the Sioux Greyhounds. And this is fascinating because Hultinen and Karki right now are 1 and 2 in power play goals in the Ontario Hockey League with 12 and 11. So Team Finland, if they get some power play time at the World Juniors, you put Hultinen and Karki out there, they could get the job done. So it's fascinating to see what Finland will do. And, the World Juniors just around the corner. Mind you, with all these players going to the World Juniors, that means their teams back here in the OHL will be impacted in one way or another. So the depth will be tested, especially London. They're missing 3 guys to the Team Canada camp with Barkey, Bonk, and Cowan, and now you add Hultinen. So their offense a little depleted heading into the final weekend before Christmas, but it comes with the territory. You find out what your depth is capable of. But if you're an OHL fan and you go to the home games, like for example Kitchener this weekend, they're coming to Barrie on Saturday. If Carson Rakoff sticks with Team Canada, Barrie fans won't see Rakoff at all this season because this is Kitchener's one and only visit to the Sadlin Arena this season. The only other way Barrie Colt fans will see Rakoff is in the playoffs if Kitchener and Barrie somehow meet in the OHL Championship. So that's the downside about the World Juniors that I find a little difficult. It'd be nice if maybe the Christmas break was a little longer so the World Juniors didn't impact rosters as much, but it is still exciting. It's the best on best when it comes to junior-aged hockey players. And it's going to be a lot of fun when it gets underway in Sweden starting on Boxing Day. So those are the news items. Let me know in the comments down below your thoughts on the Kingston trades. Do you like what Kingston got out of it? What are your thoughts for Guelph and Kitchener out of those 2 deals? And also let me know about the top 10 rankings. What are your thoughts on that? So thanks again for tuning in. Remember to hit like and subscribe, and we'll talk to you again soon.